Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So I was going to take a bit of a break from love and spirituality readings, but I felt a very strong intuitive pull to do this reading, or to do the element readings I should say. So that's what I'm doing. I'm guessing that some of you needed this or wanted this, and that's why I feel like intuitively pulled to do it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be doing the element reading starting with earth signs. So this will be a love and spirituality reading for Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. So as always, I'll also be doing an extended video. So if this reading resonates with you, let me know in the comment section. But then also you can purchase the extended video, and I'll leave the link to that in the description box. All right, earth sign. So let's get into this. And this can apply to your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign. The first thing that I'm picking up in your energy is like out of breath. And I don't know if you can actually hear it, that I feel out of breath. I wasn't running, walking, or doing any activity really. I only started feeling like this as soon as I tapped into your energy. And it's like immediately I started feeling like shortness of breath. So for some of you, you could be coming out of a very difficult cycle where you just feel like, it just feels like you run a marathon and you're exhausted. And you're just really needing a break. And it doesn't even have to be that there was a lot of physical stress on you. It could just be a lot of mental and emotional stress, because that in itself also takes a lot of work and energy to overcome. Like when people talk about doing the work towards healing, a lot of the work is mental and emotional work. Because if you've sat down for a day and just thought about things a lot, like if you're someone who overthinks, then you know that overthinking actually does drain you and exhaust you. So it's not just about doing physical labor, it's about emotional and mental labor as well. So some of you are needing a break from that. Yeah, it just looks like, because I'm seeing the world card in reverse, like in your overall energy. So it just looks like a very difficult cycle that just involved a lot of mental and emotional strain that you're just needing to, you know, settle down from or take a break from. So we're going to see, we're going to dive into your past energy first. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups, we have the Nine of Pentacles, and then we have the Empress card. Okay, so the Five of Cups talks about there being some sort of loss in the past, some sort of grieving. I feel like for a lot of you, this grieving doesn't necessarily have to be like the actual loss of someone. Like it doesn't have to be that someone passed away, but it could feel like they did, because the version of them that you knew, or the version of them that you could have became attached to, you now realize that that version of them no longer exists. Whether it be that they have changed, or it could be that they were never that version, they were just pretending to be that version of themselves, you see. But either way, it's grief. Even if it was like a fantasy, you know, like even if it was an illusion, you still have to grieve the illusion, because you still fell in love with a person. See what I'm saying? Whether that person turned out to be not who they say they were, you have to grieve the loss of who you thought that they were. So there is some grief that is here. I feel like there's also grief surrounding who you used to be. Like I've said in some of my past readings, sometimes we have to grieve the part of ourselves that we have to leave behind, because when we come out of a very difficult cycle, we are not the same anymore. And sometimes that could be a good thing, sometimes that could be a bad thing, because sometimes we start to grieve those innocent parts of ourselves, or the good parts of ourselves that we miss, that we're no longer in touch with because of, you know, what we've been through. But I feel like if that's the case for you, I feel like you are going to be able to regain your innocence. It may feel like it's gone. It may feel like, wow, I'll never be the same again, I'll never be able to trust again, and things of that sort. But I don't think that that's true. It just feels like it now. But I do genuinely feel like you will be able to regain that innocence, or that trust, that part of yourself that was able to be open and love freely. You will be able to regain that, even if you don't see it right now, because you could just kind of be weighed down with grief or with dark, you know, energy. Now, for those of you who, like I said, you are grieving a negative aspect of yourself that you left behind, that's still very valid. Like some people would think like, oh, if it's a negative aspect of you that you're leaving behind, that should be a celebration. That's not really the case, because it's still a part of you that you're leaving behind. You know, it's still something that it's still a part of you that you were comfortable with. Even if it was a part of you that was a bit destructive, it still existed for a while. You know, it's just like when you kind of cut ties with someone who was quote unquote toxic. That word is so overused. I actually hate using the word now, but that's the best word I can think of for this situation. If you were to cut ties with someone who was toxic, you still would miss them. You still would miss certain aspects of them. And it's the same thing when you're evolving as a person and when you are leaving negative aspects of yourself behind. It's like there's still some sentimental value there. So you might still be kind of grieving the loss of your old self, even if it was, something that needed to change. So give yourself time to process that and work through that. I feel like, though, a lot of you were in a grieving period, but at the same time, there was this Nine of Pentacles energy here, meaning that you were able to see the bright side of the grief. You were able to see that now you'll be able to step into the energy where you are much more independent. I feel like this had to be the loss of something that you were very attached to, and it could have been some codependency, like something that you were attached to that you felt like you couldn't live without. And again, this could be a person, this could be a habit, this could be a job. It could be anything that you felt you couldn't live without. You felt like it was the crux. Is that the right word? The crux? That's what I'm hearing. The crux of your happiness. I have to look that up. Sometimes when I'm channeling, the words just literally come out and I'm like, wait, is that right? That doesn't sound right. But that's what I'm hearing. It was the crux of your happiness, or you were using it as a crutch for your happiness. And now it's like you're aware that once this thing is gone, now you really have to be independent. And I feel like a part of you was fearing that a little bit, but then there's a part of you that knows that that's the way it's supposed to be anyway. It's like when you're in the midst of some sort of codependent attachment or some sort of negative cycle that you're depending on something outside of you for your happiness, there's a part of you that knows, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, there's a part of you that longs to be independent because you want to stop being a slave to things that are outside of you. You see what I'm saying? If there's a certain person that you depend on for your happiness, you're ultimately a slave to that person. You see? And it's like that person, what they choose to do will now dictate your sense of self-worth and your sense of happiness. And that's like, you're basically a slave to them. They can, like they really are in control of you. And so a part of you knows that you no longer want that, whatever that thing is, to be in control of your happiness, because you want freedom. You want to feel stress-free. You don't want to sit and think about what someone else is doing, or if this is like an addiction problem, you don't want to sit and think about how you're going to get your next fix. And you see what I'm saying? It's like whatever it is that you were codependently attached to, it was causing you a lot of stress because you constantly have to maintain it and you can never feel this peace of mind. So with independence comes peace of mind, and that's what's happening here. It's like you're coming into the awareness that the more independent you become and the more you find your sense of self-worth and happiness within yourself, the more confident and carefree and stress-free you will be able to be. I'm also seeing here that some of you could really be focusing on finance with the Nine of Pentacles being here. Like in the past, you're realizing that finances is something that is definitely needed for you to be independent, because Cups are here and Pentacles are here, meaning emotions, but also like the material world. So I feel like a lot of you are seeing the connection between emotional freedom and financial freedom, because sometimes when our finances aren't right, we can become very dependent on certain people, and that can kind of play a role in our emotional distress. Like maybe you're financially dependent on someone who is like emotionally manipulative or emotionally abusive. So you could see how those can intertwine. So some of you are really coming into the awareness of like financial independence, emotional independence, just overall your independence playing a role in how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself and how you show up in life is what I'm seeing. And also this newfound independence that you're moving towards is going to make you very, very magnetic. I am seeing people who once overlooked you, or people who were okay with giving you up. It's like they now start to see you in a different light. Not that you'll care, honestly, I don't feel like you will, but I'm seeing that here. You become more magnetic as you become more independent, and people start to kind of regret treating you a certain way or losing you. But I don't think that you care about what they feel or think at this point. So moving on into your present, we have the Devil in reverse and we have the Ten of Swords in reverse. So the Devil in reverse talks about you breaking free from any type of toxic patterns, addictions, things that you feel overpower you. Like, those things where you feel like you know that you don't want to do them because they don't make you feel good necessarily, and you know in the long run they're not helping you, but you feel like compelled or addicted to them. That's this energy here. Like you're letting go of those types of things. You know, those things that tell you, it's like that little voice that whispers to you, like, just do it one more time. One more time isn't going to hurt. You know, texting that person back one more time isn't going to hurt. Checking that person's social media one more time isn't going to hurt. It's like those things that, you know, like, oh, ordering fast food one more time, you know, when you just said that you wouldn't anymore, isn't going to hurt. It's like those things that whisper in your ear, like one more time won't hurt. But that one more time just keeps adding up to another time and another time and another time until you're like a whole month has passed by and you've taken part in this thing every single day because you keep telling yourself one more time. So I think a lot of you are saying no more to this little voice that whispers one more time, and you're breaking free from those toxic patterns or addictive sort of patterns that have been keeping you enslaved. I feel like a lot of you are just really tired of the pain that comes with these type of attachments, these types of addictions. You're tired of the pain. You're tired of the fact that it might give you temporary satisfaction, but in the long run, it does nothing but hurt you. So a lot of you are trading in, you know, that temporary satisfaction for thinking about, you know, how it's going to make you feel in the long run, how it's going to make you feel long term. So you may need to sacrifice, you know, that temporarily satisfying feeling in the present in order for you to start to prepare yourself to live a happier and more fulfilling future. So I feel like that's what's going on with you in the present. I feel like very strongly this could be a connection, like a romantic connection. It could be a friendship or, you know, a tie with family members as well. But I am feeling romance from this. I think a lot of you are breaking out of these addictive patterns or these addictive cycles where you just felt very chained to a certain person. Like you felt like you could not escape them no matter how hard you tried. And now it feels like you are finally escaping them. I feel like there may have been a lot of betrayal that was involved in this dynamic because the Ten of Swords talks about betrayal, possible betrayal that you didn't want to see, or it was hard for you to see. This person could have been very manipulative or something along those lines, because I'm hearing it was hard for you to see the betrayal. It's like it was right there, but it was hard for you to see it. I feel like this may have been a person who was very clever with their words, or they could have been very clever like with mind games, and so it was hard for you to see the betrayal even when it was like right there in front of you. So, but it's like something happens where the veil is lifted, or something is lifted to where you can see the betrayal very clearly, or you can see things for what they are. And I'm hearing that a lot of you, it's not that you're necessarily blaming the other person. I mean, it looks like they mostly are to blame, but a lot of you are taking the, I guess, the higher perspective of it, where you're seeing that this person or this situation was meant to teach you about, you know, the patterns within yourself and the ways that you can be addicted to certain types of people or certain types of situations, and the things that, you know, need to be changed within so that you no longer resonate with these types of things and you're no longer drawn towards them. I'm going to pull one more. Pull one more just to clarify. Ten of Cups. Yeah, that one was dying to come out. That card kept trying to jump out when I was meditating too. Yeah, the Ten of Cups in reverse. This talks about trading in that thought or that fantasy that you had, or that plan that you had for long-term happiness with a certain individual or with a certain situation, because you now see that the situation could only give you temporary happiness. It could only give you temporary fulfillment. In the long run, it would have been no good for you because of how things played out, like the dynamics. I feel like with the Ten of Cups being here, because it's in the reverse, to me this talks about an inability to change, because when it comes to two people being together, if both people change, there's really no reason why they can't be together unless they're just completely and totally not compatible. But it's like if there are certain issues within the connection and both people can see them and take accountability and change, then there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to progress into at least a healthy friendship, if nothing else, you know? So when the Ten of Cups comes up, to me, it's kind of like one person or both people, but I'm guessing it's one person in this situation, refuses to see the error in their ways or refuses to take accountability. And this could be for many reasons. This could be because of mental illness. This could be because of addictions. This could be just, there's very heavy psychological blockages that's stopping a certain person from being able to see the error in their ways and from being able to be honest about the error in their ways. And because of this, they cannot change. And therefore, that's why the Ten of Cups comes up. Because if both people were self-aware and could change, there would be no reason why, like I said, they couldn't progress into at least a healthy friendship. So, you know, that's what I'm seeing here. This could also indicate the inability to forgive, meaning that one or both people cannot practice forgiveness. It could be because of the severity of what has taken place, that it's hard to forgive. And so therefore it's like that things will never be the same, you know, sort of energy. It could be a number of different things, but whatever the case may be, it looks like you are really moving away from anything that, like I said, makes you feel enslaved or entrapped, anything that is toxic, anything that's weighing you down. Is that you're ready to move away from it and you're willing to sacrifice whatever you thought in your mind, you know, would come of, you know, whatever this situation was. You're willing to sacrifice what you expected things to be or what you hoped that things would be. So in your future position, we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse and we have the Six of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so this is positive energy to me because the Four of Pentacles can sometimes talk about holding on to things very, very tightly to the point where it takes up all of your energy. Like it takes up all of your time. It takes up just everything throughout your day. It's like you have other things you need to focus on and other things you need to do, but you're being consumed by whatever this thing is that you're holding on to, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a addiction, whether it be a habit. It's like something that you're holding on to, you know, a negative thought maybe. It's something that you're holding on to that consumes you to the point of not being able to focus on things that are much more important in life, or without gosh, I just lost the message. 1 second. Oh, okay. Holding on to things that can consume you to the point where you no longer are able to focus on yourself. There we go. So you're not able to focus on things that are important in life, like your goals, your plans, your dreams, your you know, building healthy connections, your career. You're not able to focus on those things, but most importantly, you're not able to focus on yourself. You're not able to take time to sit down and say, okay, let me scan myself. Let me give myself an emotional scan. How am I feeling? How am I doing? Like you're not able to do that because of holding on to something so tightly, and you're moving away from that energy, meaning that whatever that was that you were holding on to that tightly, you are about to release it in the near future, and you'll have much more time on your hands to really focus on yourself and your own life. Because I feel like your life is not going the way that you would like it to go. I feel like you're not feeling successful in life, and success just doesn't have to be career or anything like that. Success could be like you waking up feeling healthy and you waking up feeling at peace, like you not waking up with a heavy heart. That could be success to you, and you're not experiencing that. You're not experiencing success in your day-to-day life, and it's only because of these things that you're not willing to let go of. But for a lot of you, you are willing to let go of them. Like you are about to step into that energy of letting those things go. I think because you're just tired for the most part. I think it's just like this is just getting too heavy to continue to carry, and you've seen too much, you know too much. It's like logically it makes no sense to hold on to it or to carry it any longer. So it's like you're finally just going to let it go. I think that, you know, we are not ready to let things go until we are completely ready. Like other people can tell us it's time to let it go. We can kind of know it logically, like I should probably let this go. But until we really feel like we're done, that's when we'll be done. You see what I'm saying? So some of you are getting to that point where you're like, okay, I feel like I'm ready to be done. You know, and for some of you, you may not even feel ready, but it's like you're just going to go and let it go anyway. And it's like you're moving forward physically and mentally, and then you're hoping later on that your emotions will catch up, and you know, maybe your emotions will still be grasping onto this, but if you move forward physically and mentally, then your emotions will eventually catch up and also move forward. So that's what I'm feeling for a lot of you. We're going to pull for the outside energy, a person or a situation outside of yourself that's affecting you the most heavily, and we're going to pull one card for this, and we're going to finish it in the extended. Let's see. Outside energy for Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Oh, the Ace of Cups. Let me clarify that. Okay, Hermit. So it looks like, oh boy, Four of Cups. All right. Okay, so it looks like the outside energy, the person or situation that's affecting you most heavily. This could be someone with very heavy Virgo placements in their chart. I'm feeling very heavy Virgo here. But it could also just be someone who is very wise and who has gone within to do some soul searching. It looks like this is a person who could be trying to start something over with you again, because the Four of Cups is here talking about the past. So the Four of Cups talking about the past, but then the Ace of Cups being here, it's almost like a new offer, but it's either someone from the past making it after they've done some soul searching, or it's a new offer, but your past is blocking you from being able to see it, is what I'm seeing. So we're going to dive deeper into that in the extended video. Thank you guys for watching this reading. I will leave a link to the extended in the description box down below, and we'll dive deeper into whatever this situation is. So I will see you guys over on my Vimeo channel. Bye.